truth and rumor mixed into a deadly elixir. Rogan says that Epstein has a painting of Bill Clinton in a dress for everyone to see as they walk into his house. Why would you have that in your home? What point is he trying to make?
Why do you think Epstein had that giant painting of Bill Clinton in a dress in his foyer?
Dude.
Do you know that picture?
Yeah.
That painting?
Epstein's taste in art was not great. Like, if you look at the shit...
that was great.
That's like the least of Epstein's problems, really. His taste in art is... Do you know what bothered me about Jeffrey Epstein? I don't know, like, wasn't he having sex with children and, like, filming other people having sex with children? Yeah,
Nah,
he was.
it's art.
But his taste in art was absolutely abysmal. This painting of Bill Clinton it's a real shocker.
That was great. That painting is like, I got you, bitch. That's what that is.
Oh, right.
You got a president who was on the flight logs 26 times with Epstein, and you got that guy in a fucking dress in your house.
Okay, I'm dumb. I'm sorry, dude. I'm officially dumb because
Why?
I've known about that picture. And I've just been like, why would anybody want a fucking picture
That
of
is,
Bill?
I got you, bitch.
That's just a like, hey, yeah.
That's I got you, bitch.
That is terrifying.
That's terrifying. Imagine if I knew some horrible dark secrets about you and you came over my house and I have a giant painting of you right when you walk into the front door.
Yeah.
Of you in a dress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, buddy.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah.
You're right.
How fucking terrifying that would be?
That's terrifying.
You know he knows about it. I mean, you walk right in and bam, there's that painting.
And now you kind of control a president.
Holy shit, dude.
I suppose that painting is an indication that power dynamics are not what we assumed them to be. Yo, Joe. Yo, Massey. Welcome back. Whenever you're watching this, we've had some technical difficulties for all we know because of cyber attacks from the state. But at this point, the information is flowing out so fast that I don't think that anybody can prevent it. Before we park this item on the Epstein files and its deep revelations, I suppose the ultimate revelation that, as we've long suspected, the people and institutions that you think of as being in control of your nation and your lives are merely secondary agents of an ulterior force. Some people will think that that's the deep state. Some people will think it's another country. Some people will think it's an ethnic or religious group. Some people think that they're interdimensional beings. Let me know in the comments and chat where you land on it. The simple truth is this, that it ain't righteous, it ain't good, it ain't God, and it ain't what it even claims to be. It's not democracy. It's not the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or the Labour Party or the Conservative Party. It's not Macron. It's not even Klaus Schwab. It seems that there are various intermediaries and intercessionary forces that have taken hold of power, and it is our job here as Christian soldiers and indeed awakened wonders to ensure that that battle can be fought, and fight it we shall. Let's have a quick look at House Oversight Chair James Comer saying he's ready to have Bill and Hillary Clinton arrested if they ignore subpoenas about Epstein. Like, if you're one of those people that for a long time has nervously been involved in conversations where people talk about the Bill and Hillary Clinton suicide list, to see this kind of stuff discussed is just staggering. You know, I stepped back from the world of online content just because I couldn't take the vertiginous pace and the giddy velocity of all this stuff. But man, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Mr. Chairman, there are two very important people that you subpoenaed early on, or excuse me, that you asked to voluntarily cooperate. They didn't schedule their interviews. Now there's a subpoena. But Bill and Hillary Clinton, if they continue to duck you, will you take them to court? Will you try to enforce a subpoena? Will you go the Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro route?
100%. We're going to go that route. We expect to hear from Bill and Hillary Clinton. Look, Donald Trump's answered questions for years about Jeffrey Epstein. Every day he gets asked questions about Epstein and he answers them in front of the American people. We've subpoenaed Republicans and Democrats. Two Republicans have come forward, Bill Barr and Alex Acosta. They did interviews and deposition. And those were tough, but they did them. They didn't back down. Other Democrats have sent letters that saying they knew nothing about Epstein, which would hold in court if something ever comes out that they did know something, then they've committed perjury there. But the Clintons have never responded. They're the one group in this investigation that's never had to answer questions in front of a credible reporter, and they've never certainly answered questions from attorneys or members of Congress. So we expect the Clintons to come in, or I expect the Clintons to be met with the same fate that Bannon and Navarro were met with when the Democrats were in control.
Okay, hey, listen, let me just play this in now while we sort out a few technical challenges. Let me have a look at this. Let me tell you, I'd like to show you guys this. Maybe we should look at, let's have a look at Tim Burchett quoting the Fonz, really. There's little more than that taking place here. As the establishment scrambles to assert some sort of authority, let's have a look at the various ramifications while we ruminate together on how this will play out. What's going to be released? Who's going to get exposed? Let me know in the comments and chat who you're secretly hoping is going to get named in those files.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Brian. Somebody asked me if I was going to wear my jacket up there, and I said, to quote the immortal words of Henry Winkler when he played the Fonz, I always rumble in this jacket, because that's what we're up against. This is a fist fight, folks. Now, first, I guess I need to thank Chairman Stiles and the committee, the House Admin Administration Committee, for taking this up, because I realize what we're up against. I mean, this is, everybody talks about this place being a dadgum swamp. It's not a swamp. A swamp is something cool God created. It filters water. Animal life lives and flourishes around it. This is a sewer. This is created by man, and it needs to stop. We've, for years, Congress has been using hard-working American taxpayers' money to get rich. Dadgum, it's got to stop. America knows what the heck's going on. Everybody wants to knock Pelosi. Heck, she's not even in the top 10. Get on that Unusual Whales site. This is pathetic, folks. We all know what's going on. Congress knows what the hell's going on, and it needs to stop. This body has been enriching itself on the taxpayers' dime for too dadgum long, and it's got to stop. This place is crooked and is crooked as a dog's leg. That's an old East Tennessee saying, but it's the truth. And it needs to stop. America knows what's going on. We're in committee meetings. We hear things before y'all do. We can make those connections. When you see a member of this body making 400, 500, 600 trades a year, you know something's wrong. Everybody ought to do like I do. I got my buddy Tommy Siler who invested in my...
Things are changing pretty fast, baby. Everything's back. Let me know what's going on in the comments and chat. Give us some comments, Massey. Give us some comments. Jake, so the Epstein thing, I suppose it was inevitable. It's been a long time coming. I suppose it's like Amy Winehouse's death from a drug overdose. Even though we all knew this was coming, it's still pretty extraordinary, sad and baffling when it actually takes place. This is from Corinthians 3. Do not deceive yourselves. If any of you think you are wise by the standards of this age, you should become fools so that you may become wise. Right, sort of resume a kind of innocence. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight. Yeah, the worldly patterns are a kind of idiocy. As it is written, he catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows that the thoughts of the wise are futile. So then no more boasting about human leaders. All things are yours. In a way... The very idea of secularism, you know what secularism means? It means the separation of church and state. And it was, I suppose, a principle established so that nations could have individual sovereign authority free from the papacy. Otherwise, the influence of Rome was so significant and forceful that a country couldn't be said to be in control of itself. When the people that founded your country, the United States of America, set up their constitution, what they wanted to be sure of is religious freedom, freedom from persecution, ability to worship freely. The problem is this, that while you may have secularism, i.e. separation of church and state when it comes to Christianity and government, you don't have separation of the true ideology, which is a kind of insidious demonism, a kind of demonic power controls human institutions. I'm writing a book about coming to the Lord at the moment. I don't know why I automatically picked up the Bible then. I suppose because it's a significant influence. But the thing that surprised me most when coming to Christ is all of the things that I'd thought I'd understood from taking drugs. I don't mean like crack and heroin. You don't understand anything from crack. You sort of understand like, man, I'm horny. From heroin, you understand, what's the point? I'm sleepy. From LSD, you understand self and apparent reality are movable and illusory. And then you start to detect that the sensory world is not the only reality that's available. Some of you might know this already, some of you might not know it yet, that there are other layers of reality. As I got better educated reading, sort of popular Eastern mysticism, whether that's Thich Nhat Hanh or bloody Eckhart Tolle, or actually more esoteric books like original Buddhist texts or the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata, I started to understand that there's a kind of war going on, an interdimensional war. When I say interdimensional, if you imagine that the frequencies of human senses represent accumulatively a dimension, we all basically know what people are talking about if you say something like a mountain or a river or a pond, red, yellow. And if you don't understand what those things are, generally speaking, you know that you are the limiting factor. This is the plane of reality that most of us operate within. That text from Corinthians suggests that human leaders operate primarily within that dimension and have dominion over it. But if you read the Bible, what you'll be staggered to learn, at least I was staggered to learn, is that these texts talk about false idolatry as being kind of sets of icons and sigils that access demonic power. You'll be astonished to learn that God is used in the plural in the Pentateuch and the early books of the Bible. You will be staggered to learn that when the devil says to Christ, I can give you authority, I'm in control down here, Christ doesn't say, what, you got me? He says, yeah, no, I know that. I know you're in control here. The devil is in charge of the world. Jung, in his writings to Bill W., Carl Jung, the eminent psychologist and one of the founders with Freud of the entire profession of psychology and psychiatry, which is really more of a rational and material understanding of spiritualism, isn't it, and mysticism, said that the evil principle prevailing in this world may as well be called the devil. However you carve this up, evil is in control. That's why all of a sudden we're literally in real time discovering that some of the most powerful people in the world can be compromised because there's footage of them fucking kids. That's basically the upshot of it, isn't it? Now, you or I, hopefully, you ain't got no footage of us fucking kids. Why? Because we don't fuck kids. There you go. Don't be evil, you won't be compromised. Like a lot of these people, when I'm sort of considering them, I imagine they were just like sort of womanizing, play around, gadabouts, having a bunch of consensual sex with available willing partners. Do you imagine that? Do you imagine that of a lot of people that are going to get named in these Epstein files? I imagine that. And I know about that because I'm part of it. I was part of it. I was in Hollywood. I was having a bunch of consensual sex in bathrooms. I was sleeping around, screwing around, living like the culture told me I was supposed to. When the Lord came to me, when I was saved, I saw vivid, in luminous technicolor, beyond the electromagnetic spectrum, though somehow dimly grey, a potent and powerful truth. Jesus Christ, like from your nativity play, Jesus Christ, like from dumb pastoral chatter, Jesus Christ, like from your grandmother talking to you, is real. Not some dumbed down, neutered, ethical proselytizing. No, the potent power that created the universe is available to you right now. And that's the force that's going to be required if we're going to stand up and oppose on his behalf and by his grace, for we are storming the very gates of hell, these evil and demonic forces that have captured human institutions through bureaucracy. And if you've read your C.S. Lewis, in particular your screw tape letters, you'll know that demons come at you through bureaucracy. I'm afraid you can't park there. I'm sorry about that. You've already signed that. Oh, it's unfortunate. You would be able to do that. It's just, sorry, it's out of my control. It's beyond me. Glory unto God. The day has come. We're living in the Revelations era. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat, baby. This is what we're here for. Now, first up, on the very subject of demonism, is the horrific spectacle of pixelated resurrection. Yes. Do you miss your grandma? Actually, I do. I really miss my grandma. God, I loved her. She loved me. She was one of the people that just knew that I was a good person, even when the chips were down. The French fries was available, or chips as we call them in the UK. 3 a.m. anytime. Turn up, high, out of my mind. You all right, darling? What you want, omelette? You okay? Oh, poor boy. You all right, son? Shame about you, innit? Well, you could have that back again, because there's a company called Two Way that are resurrecting your dead relatives, probably for the most vile of reasons conceivable. Let's get into the resurrection of grandmas. And what I resent about this is not that it's crap, but that it's brilliant. It's like pornography in a way. Even if you think it's appalling and immoral, if you watch it, it will achieve the desired result. Let's have a look at 2 ways. Filthy pornography, dragging the dead from their graves. Only to get you wet for all the wrong reasons.
He's getting bigger. See?
Oh, honey, that's wonderful.
Kicking like crazy.
He's listening. Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that.
It feels like he's dancing in there.
Oh, honey.
Mom, would you tell Charlie that bedtime story you always used to tell me?
Once upon a time, there was a baby unicorn who didn't know he knew how to fly. This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Charlie. How was school today?
It was really fun. I made this crazy shot in basketball.
I don't really care that much about basketball. What about the crush?
Stop. Grandma, stop talking.
Just tell me one thing.
Look who's going to be a great grandmother.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, congratulations.
She says that he's been kicking a lot, though. Like, a little too much.
Tell her to put her hand on her tummy and hum to him. You loved that.
You would have loved this moment.
You can call anytime.
Okay, Mom, I just need a quick video.
Is this like an audition or something?
No, Mom. Just 3 minutes.
You need my best side?
Can I sing another one?
I can play the piano.
So talented.
I am. I'm your mother after all.
Keep going. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was born as a very young child.
I would hope so.
What are you saying, Dave?
That commercial is a little bit creepy how they do it. But, I understand it. They train them on their voice. They use AI to train on the voice and train on the visual. And they can recreate it. I mean, I thought it's an open market. Like, hey, people want it. There's a market for it. Go for it. Although it is a little strange thinking about, like, with my dad. My dad died 10 years ago or 14 years ago. And I think of recreating him for my kids to see him interact with. I don't know if I'd do it. It'd be strange. It'd be weird.
Oh man, you know, like Japan, before Japan was opened up to foreign markets, they had this kind of sense among them that Japan was going to get destroyed somehow. They had this sort of sense that they wanted to remain insular and an island. One of their most famous images, I think, is a guy called Fukuyama. It's like this tidal wave, and in the background you can see their famous and iconic Mount Fuji being dwarfed by the size of this wave. Eventually, Japan went up. They bowed to international pressure and did open up their markets. And what do you know? Nagasaki, Hiroshima. It's like collectively they knew something's going to happen. Something's going to happen because it's non-local and atemporal. The prima materia of reality is atemporal and aspatial. So, of course, when they first bring about these kind of technologies, they introduce it in a, well, who wouldn't want, you know, I want my children to see my beloved grandmother and how sweet she was. And they introduce all of these ideas, you know, convenience, safety. But like in the end, this will be used to sort of stimulate you into a state where you are more malleable, where you are starting to attach your emotions to screens, where you are less and less human, where ultimately they are making us more machine-like so they can manage us like machines.
We got a good comment here from Bob of Atlanta said, "Why does Grandpa keep trying to sell me Coca-Cola?"
Yeah, right. Hey, son, we bought the image rights to your grandma. Like, why not do that? I mean, like, it's already, like, ancestor worship is so deeply embedded in every single culture in the world. You're meant to revere them and love for them and carry their message and their power through their genes and through mythology and through story. Why not have that grandmother sucking someone's cock? Why not? Like, if we're messing around with the dead, why not do that? Hey, son, you want me to nosh you off? It exists out there. The most powerful people in the world are going off to islands to have sex with children. How can you possibly be offended by the idea of a pixelated grandmother being dragged out of the boneyard, dolled up in lingerie, and forced to brass herself up and down the old Kent Road? What are you saying, Joe?
I think it's absolutely fucking mental. mental. I don't agree with that sort of stuff. What's that? It's just encouraging all sorts of mental illness, isn't it? I think you're talking to your great nan and all that. Like, she's dead, she's gone. You're not. It's not real. You like, come and check in with me later and all that. What the fuck? That's mad.
Yeah. Instead of confronting death and accepting the finality of the material, temporal reality, and that you may only know eternal life through surrender of yourself, it's been sort of propped up with a kind of spiritual Viagra, that everything can be kept hard, limitlessly. You don't need to worry about grandma being dead. We can keep her alive. It's sort of a denial of the very parameters of reality, because at the in the same week in the UK they passed laws to extend late term abortion and to make euthanasia possible. And I know like a bunch of people that are nurses and doctors, and euthanasia is in practice possible anyway, because they just increase the dosage of opiates and it induces organ failure. So to change the law means that there's a long game. Someone told me once about Rupert Murdoch, that Rupert goes, what's he I met this guy that had worked closely with Rupert Murdoch, the owner of News International. He's like he's in his 90s now, actually. And I goes, tell me what it is about him that's made him so powerful. And they told me he acts as if he's not going to die, like literally Mephistophelian. Like he acts like he's not going to die. So even if like some deal of his don't work or something don't happen, he's like, no problem, I'll get you. I'll be there. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter. The very people that are in positions of power, if you entertain the idea that it's Luciferic or demonic, and if you consider the defining quality of Lucifer is power sought apart from God, that is why Lucifer, the highest of the angels, is cast out, because he wants his own circuit of power. He wants a closed circuit, his own conduit, his own system or system of power. He wants to capture and hold it. So I see like this kind of technology that life altering, meddling with life, meddling with reality. You know, is it like, I sometimes think though,
are you saying it's like trying to play God?
Yeah, it's trying to play God. It's trying to emulate, 100%. Mess with a prima materia, Dave. And what are prima materia? Primary material of reality. Then sometimes I think, you know, do you really even know the people that you intimately know? Like when we've discussed horror before, isn't the defining attribute of good horror the chill of recognizing that even people that you intimately know might be demons or monsters? Say that movie Rosemary's Baby by Polanski. He was an outlier in demonic Hollywood. Like in Rosemary's Baby, a woman finds out that her husband and her neighbours have sold her baby for demon worship and for Satanism and stuff. And the kind of, when I'm watching the movie, the feeling I get is like, oh shit, you might not know people. Like if you've taken a lot of drugs, you know, sometimes, you know that feeling when you take too much acid and you're like, oh God, oh no, I can't cope with reality. It's falling apart. I'm on the edge. Like I don't think I'm going to be able to come back. You know, when you think, I'm not going to be able to come back this time. I can't get back this time. You know, and like that's because you don't really, on some level, unless God is real and we can make divine and sublime connections with one another, that, you know, he is in us, and we are in him. Unless you can achieve that kind of state, then everything is just being received through the senses, and you don't really know anyone or anything. Anyone could be the Diablo, double, counterfeit, double. Anyone could be masked. Anyone could unveil themselves. That's why this Epstein thing hits so hard, because, you know, whether they're your most beloved movie stars or your most trusted or loathed politicians, you don't know that they're not off on an island abusing children. You don't know that they're not compromised. You don't know anymore, and all that's really changed is they can't control the information anymore. These kind of ideas, even if there's a part of me that would like to take the soma, drink the Kool-Aid of like, oh yeah, maybe it don't matter, my grandmother's dead and everyone I love's going to die and my children are going to die, even if there's part of me that would enjoy that comfort, you have to resist that. That's what it is to have principles. You have to resist the idea that you can fall down there.
Yeah, Jokic Sports and Hobbies on the Rumble chat said, imagine the kids that grow up only knowing that.
Yeah.
They only know their grandma to be an AI deal.
Right, you chat to her on an iPad.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
normal.
and then she dies. You still chat to her on an iPad,
and that's all they know. That's pretty wild to think about. That AI will become just a normal part of our, the young kids, lots of people not born yet.
Don't you then start to contemplate a kind of Asimov stroke McKenna-esque idea that we're already in a synthetic reality? Have you ever spent any time with a virtual reality? Like, have you ever? I'm going to get one for Christmas. I'm so excited. Like, I'm going to get a PlayStation 5 again. Oh man, I love these things. Like, have you ever played like virtual reality, even with something a bit hokey like the shark game? Because I can't be bothered with all the wires. It's too complicated. It's too hard to set it up. Your kids break it, spill shit on it. What's the point? But like if you play one of them virtual realities, like if you stay in it for 10 minutes and you come out of it, you're like, oh man, that was so real. And like, that's the most rudimentary versions of it. What I felt the first time I did it is like, there's no way that's the final removal of a helmet, a carapace of reality. There's layer after layer after layer after layer. We're sort of rigged up and meshed into, glommed onto a set of stimulants that we receive through the senses. And when he says like, you won't understand it all now, or when Paul says, I see now as if through a dark glassly, it's like you can't see reality yet. You're not attuned enough. That's why asceticism, the denial of the senses, is paramount. Because if you can fast, deny yourself food and keep your shit together, deny yourself sex, keep your shit together, suffer pain, bodily corporal pain, and keep your shit together, the Lord starts to show you, yeah, look, there's a deeper reality. There's a deeper reality. So, as you know, this is just like I see Musk on Rogan say, it's more likely that we're already in a simulation than not if this is the technology that's available to us. But by then, you're just using a different lexicon to describe the phenomena of a God, a powerful creator that bestowed life upon us, that took us from the clay, that took us from a kind of heavy, dense reality, or maybe we were cast into a denser reality because of the fall and the sin. In any event, we now occupy a material dense reality and have lost access to what we would consider with our blunt, dumb sensory instruments to a more ephemeral and attuned reality because of sin, because of brokenness. And I suppose what I feel like with this stuff is it will keep us there forever. We'll never be able to get out again.
I don't know. It's different than like, hey, you show your kids a photo or a video of your grandparents. Then this is interactive.
Yeah.
So it's like creating a new layer. I don't know. That's what makes it really scary and strange.
I don't like it when they like have Tupac do a gig, or when they like use James Dean in some advert for like bank or whatever. I felt this ain't right. I don't think so, man.
Because I think it's edited memories too. So like we lost my father-in-law, and there's a voice message that he actually sent that the kids wanted in a recording in their stuffed animal, and that'd be his actual voice. But that's a memory that they actually had. So where's the line get drawn if AI is coming up with all these things that didn't even happen, and then the kids start replacing the actual memory with these false interactions?
Well, I think the line's drawn by you as their father, and not by like a deluge of false information and false possibility from demonic opportunists in the world of AI. And we already know that they are sort of initially shackled and chained by corporatism and profiteering. Corporatism means a body, a false entity. They bring together a new anatomy through new alliances. So what do I like? I mean, in a way, that's no different than keeping the keys from my nan's house, 143 Lily Church Road. I kept the keys and the leather key fob because I didn't want to let her go. I didn't want to let her go entirely. That's different than like trying to kind of artificially resurrect her and hold the thing together, or hold it all together erroneously. And who's got, like you said, brought to you by Coca-Cola. How long before they use your most intimate connections to stimulate you indefinitely?
Get grandma to tell you to stay inside and get the COVID vaccine. I mean, they could do whatever they want.
Like, isn't it amazing that Orwell, that mad genius, called the antagonist overlord Big Brother? Like it's a fraternal, familial relationship. Like, yes, you best stay in your home. You need another vaccine shot. Gavin De Becker said, like when he came on here, the writer of Forbidden Facts there, he said the time might come where with digital ID and the sort of kind of accumulative power that we can sort of glimpse over the horizon, where they would look at us all separately and individually and be able to say, right, you've got to go to the pharmacy and take your shot at this time tomorrow. You've got to go and take your shot. If you don't take your shot, you'll be impacted on your social credit scoring. They'll look at a person like me and say, he's a little bit vibey. Let's bring him down a fucking peg or two with some sort of inoculating chemical that sort of deadens you and bromides you down into sort of depression. Then someone else, they might go, oh, that geezer works in a factory. Up him a few levels, get him working away on the production line or whatever surf class is required after this AI and robotic revolution. What I feel is the only fight worth having, and isn't it amazing that we're caught in culture war conflicts the whole time, is decentralization of power. I see it again and again.